None. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Calling the roll for the Monday, August 19, 2024 Board of Control meeting. It is 11:01 a.m. We have Joseph Nani serving as an alternate for Dale Miller. Trevor Meckler serving as an alternate for Purnell Jones Jr.
Here.
Nicole English serving as an alternate for Mike Dever.
Here.
Catherine Gallagher serving as an alternate for Chris Renee, County Executive.
Here.
Michael Chambers, Fiscal Officer, serving as Chairman.
Here.
Paul Porter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda is the review and the approval of the minutes from August 12th. I will make a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by, who said that? Mr. McAleer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Any public comment?
No public comment.
Let's go to our first item.
First item, table item BC 2024-590, Sheriff's Department recommending an award and submitting a purchase order with Geauga County Sheriff's Department in the amount not to exceed $90,000 for outsourcing prisoner board and care services to reduce the daily population in the Cuyahoga County Jail for the period August 19, 2024 through December 31st, 2024.
Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. This is our prisoner board and care where we ship the inmates to Geauga County for board and care services. This $90,000 should get us through the end of the year.
Thank you, Chris. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item's approved. Next item, please.
Next item, first item for review, BC 2024-600, Department of Public Works recommending an award on RQ 14536 and submitting a purchase order with Charchone Ford of Alliance in the amount not to exceed $87,850 for the purchase of one replacement new, never titled 2024 Ford F-550 crew truck with utility body for use by the Road and Bridge Division.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Pavich, Public Works. This is an award recommendation to Sarshoni Fords for a purchase order of a new pickup truck for our Road and Bridge Division. It's a large truck, F-550 with a toolbox body. This was a competitive formal bid. We had 4 bids, and Sarshoni was the lowest bid. The old vehicle is a 2008, which will be auctioned off on Gov Deals.
Thank you, Mr. Pavich. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is
Thank you.
approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-601, Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a contract with Northeast Ohio Trenching Service Incorporated for installation of 785 feet of new concrete for East 26th Street roadway between Community College Avenue and Central Avenue in the city of Cleveland for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $87,086.15, recommending to accept construction as complete and in accordance with plans and specifications, requesting authority for the county treasurer to release the escrow account in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 153.63.
Nicole English with Public Works. This is a final closeout of a construction project. The final amendment, we did forward the list of items that are covered under this amendment.
Okay, Ms. English, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Joe Nani. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2024-602, Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a contract with Great Lakes Petroleum Company for the purchase of fuel for various county facilities for the period April 1st, 2020 through July 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to August 31st, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $65,000.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, again, Public Works. This is a 1-month amendment with Great Lakes Petroleum. We contracted with them for the fuel for the county's vehicles. We filed a state of Ohio contract, and the state had to amend their contract 1 additional month. They did their competitive process and were delayed in getting the awards done. So in order to just follow the state contract, they amended it. We have to amend it, and this is that 1-month amendment.
Thank you, Tom. Are there questions from the board on this item? Yeah, please.
Tom, is it Great Lakes moving forward after August? The state
It's to be determined. So they haven't released the award information yet. I just sent another email this morning. Great Lakes has had our district in the state for quite a long time. So we're anticipating, but until we get the information from the state, we're unsure. So.
Any further questions? Seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Next, item BC 2024-603, Court of Common Pleas Corrections Planning Board submitting an amendment to an agreement with Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities for forensic jail liaison services for the Cuyahoga County Offenders with Developmental Disabilities Program for the period July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2025, to change the terms of insurance effective July 1st, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $32,200.
Good morning, Linda Lagoonzad with the Corrections Planning Board. This one-year second contract amendment with the Board of Developmental Disabilities allows for the support of a full-time forensic liaison position, which serves offenders in the Cuyahoga County Jail who are known to the County Board of Developmental Disabilities and eligible for participation in the court's mental health and developmental disabilities docket. And upon release, they will go into that program. It's anticipated. The liaison screens, identifies, and monitors offenders to ensure they have proper access to all necessary developmental disability services and opportunities, advocates for offenders upon release from jail, including attendance at all court hearings, mental health and developmental disability docket treatment team meetings, and probation supervision. And they work with offenders to prevent abuse, neglect, and exploitation.
Thank you, Linda. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Next, item BC 2024-604, Court of Common Pleas, Juvenile Court Division, submitting an amendment to a contract with Let Art Breathe, the Lab Incorporated, for positive youth development services for court-referred youths with high risk for recidivism for the period July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2026, to replace the insurance requirements effective July 1st, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $205,960.
Marie Endell with Juvenile Court. This is a contract amendment to engage youth to develop expression utilizing various artistic methods in an established art studio. This is to extend it for 2 years and increase the funds by $205,960. This is part of the Reclaim grant, which is why this is a little bit late, and the vendors were delayed in returning their documents.
Okay, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nani. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next, item BC 2024-605, Medical Examiner's Office submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to CSI Industries Incorporated, DBI CSI Jewett, in the amount not to exceed $219,660 for the purchase, construction, and installation of 60 cadaver autopsy carts effective upon contract signatures of all parties for a period of 1 year, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
Hugh Shannon, Medical Examiner's Office. So we are replacing the majority of the carts that we use for body storage and autopsy. We had them refurbished about 8 or 9 years ago to extend their lifespan, but they're now at the end of that. We are doing 60 to start, and we're hoping that that's enough. When we got pushed during COVID, it went considerably higher than that, actually. So we will be kind of putting together the best of the current carts that we've got for overflow in case we need them.
Thank you, Hugh. Are there questions from the board? Thank you. Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next, item BC 2024-606, Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Cuyahoga Job and Family Services, submitting an amendment to a master contract with various providers for the Comprehensive Case Management Employment Program, employment, education, and training services for young adults for the period April 1st, 2022 through October 31st, 2024, to make budget line item revisions and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $249,997.33 as listed for items A and B on the printed agenda.
Good morning, Marcos Cortez with Health and Human Services on behalf of the Division of Cuyahoga Jobs and Family Services. For this contract amendment, Jobs and Family Services is partnering with the Office of Reentry. The Office of Reentry recognizes that providing meaningful employment experience and skill-building opportunities during the summer months can serve as a critical preventative measure against juvenile justice involvement, and to that end is providing funds to extend a summer youth employment program for older youth. The meaningful employment opportunities and skill development resulting will create safe pathways for young people to achieve their full potential and contribute positively to society.
Thank you, Marcos. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2024-607, Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services, submitting an amendment to a contract with Belfair Jewish Children's Bureau for mentoring services for youth in permanent custody of the Division of Children and Family Services for the period October 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2024, to extend the time period to September 30th, 2025, to amend the terms of Exhibit 2 budget effective October 1st, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $252,000.
Good morning again, Marcos Cortez with Health and Human Services on behalf of the Division of Children and Family Services. Under this contract amendment, Belfair will continue to implement a high-quality youth mentoring program for youth in the permanent custody of DCFS. These youth are between the ages of 10 and 21 and may reside in foster care, residential care, or the care of a relative. These youth are not on an adoption path and need a strong, caring adult relationship to help support the emotional and behavioral growth, school success, and positive relationships with peers and older adults so that they may successfully transition to independent living. We are exercising our option year to extend the time period and add funds for one more year.
Thank you again. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Moving on, please.
Moving on to consent agenda items BC 2024-608 through BC 2024-609.
Board members, feel free to ask any question, any of those items. Go ahead, Mr. Mackler. No? Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, seeing no questions on today's consent agenda items, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor to approve today's consent agenda items as listed, say aye. Aye. Oppose? They are approved. Moving on to other business.
Yes, we have one additional item, BC 2024-610, Department of Health and Human Services, Cuyahoga Job and Family Services, submitting an amendment to a contract with United Way of Greater Cleveland for fiscal agent services and emergency food purchase assistance by hunger centers serving eligible Cuyahoga County residents for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025, for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $250,000 effective upon contract signatures of all parties. Oh, we need a motion to amend the agenda to add the
Okay,
item
yeah.
first.
I'm going to make a motion to today's agenda to add this item. I need a second. Seconded by Mr. Nani. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The item is approved to be added to the agenda. Let's, Mr. Merriman?
First, good morning. Thank you very much. David Merriman here on behalf of County Executive Chris Ronayne and the Department of Health and Human Services. And I'm joined today by representatives from United Way, 211, Franco Formicelli, Kristen Rozoka, the CEO of the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, and Julie Johnson, the CEO of the Hunger Network. So the three of them are here with me today and are available for questions if there are any. I want to also thank Paul Porter, Marcos Cortez, and the clerk for working over the weekend to have this item considered and introduced here today. County Executive Chris Ronayne declared an emergency as a result of the recent storm and has been tracking the need for a food replacement on behalf of many residents around the county. So we're bringing forward this $250,000 walk-on to amend our existing contract with 211, the Food Bank, and the Hunger Network. Chris Ronayne has heard a lot about the need for food from seniors, from families, from the working poor, and anybody else that's dealing with food insecurity as a result of the storm. And so he and I have really tracked that. We've heard in the community about the growing need. To quantify that need, we got a report a week ago from the United Way 211, and they talked about under normal circumstances, they would be receiving around 280 calls a week, finding out information about food pantries and soup kitchens and SNAP. The week following the storm, they got 910 calls. That call volume has continued. They're seeing in essence a 200% increase in calls for food. And Franco, as I said, is here to answer any questions about that information. I also heard from the Greater Cleveland Food Bank that they've received double the number of calls to their own call center. And Julie Johnson has shared also significant increases in calls on behalf of residents directly or their neighbors, just trying to find out where is their food. Much of what we've been focusing on is trying to change the way in which we will be replacing SNAP that was lost, or SNAP benefits that were lost during the storm and the week following. And so that has been the primary focus. However, we know there are many people in our community that are not on SNAP and they have food needs. We also are aware that for people that are even going to get the replacement SNAP benefits as a result of the storm, there may be a time that they're going to be waiting as those benefits applications are reviewed and processed. So we're here to ask for this emergency purchase, adding it on to the existing 211 United Way Food Bank Hunger Network contract. We're still working through all of the details. This is a very urgent request, and so there are still going to be some additional meetings for us to talk about exactly how to allocate the funds. And I also know each of the organizations are putting forward their own resources, and happy to have them talk about what they're doing. So I'm going to pause there and see if there's questions for me or if you have questions for any of our distinguished guests that are here to speak on this item.
Thank you, David. Are there questions from the board? Mr. Mackler, please.
Dave, are those eligible for this $250,000 worth of food? Is it income-based? Is it open for everyone? What's the eligibility for the?
So these are Health and Human Service dollars, and so they're not tied to any specific eligibility. I do know that generally speaking, all of our partners capture information on individuals walking through the door so that if we can seek further reimbursement down the line, we will try to. But I think in many ways, we also have people coming forward that have never gotten assistance. And so this is not strictly eligibilized.
Are we going to track that to see if there are new people coming for food? Or is that something that we're not able to track?
So it's a good question. What I think I'd like to do is I'd like to invite Chris Marzoka to come forward and talk about the tracking of visitors and residents when they need assistance.
Thank you and good morning. Thanks for having us here today, David, and for your support. So at the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, we have a network of 309 agencies in Cuyahoga County specifically that can get food from the food bank. In addition to distributing donated food and purchased food, we also distribute food from the USDA, the Department of Agriculture, and from State of Ohio food programs. And so anyone at 200% of poverty or below is eligible for food from the food bank. Although there are occasionally exceptions, and there have been some exceptions made in this storm. We do have a tracking system where all of our food pantries use something called Pantry Track. And so we can track on a regular basis anyone who comes to the food bank or one of our partner agencies for the first time. So we could provide data on how many new neighbors in Cuyahoga County receive food through these dollars made available, if that is helpful.
Great, thanks, Kristen.
Sure. Any other questions for me? All right, thank you for your consideration. As you can imagine, the food bank and our partners have been awfully busy the last couple of years, and the food we have in stock has gone very quickly. We're anxious to bring in some additional non-perishable food.
I also want to invite Julie Johnson up to speak specifically about how the Hunger Network, in partnership with the food bank, is tracking information and what can be provided.
David, can I ask another question to David real quick?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Is the intent with the food that's gonna be purchased with this, these dollars, is it more to restock the food that was distributed right during the storm, after the storm? Or is this going to be the intent to distribute food right away to those that lost food? I mean, is it a combination of both? Or I guess, what's the intent of the 250 and the need to walk it on?
The intent is to respond to the storm, the loss of food, the increased volume of residents coming forward to ask for just food for themselves and their families. We understand there will be times that we're going to purchase as much food as we possibly can. So if any of the food is purchased and there's a slow day, I know that they'll store it and they'll give it out the next day or whenever as soon as they can.
And then just a quick question on the number of calls that have been coming in. You gave us call data for the week after the storm. I guess what's it 2 weeks now after the storm?
I'm going to ask Franco to come up and speak about the current call volume, I think, through today or yesterday.
Thanks, Dave.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us today. Call volume was actually 300% post-storm. Now the second week following, we're at 200%. So and I just checked, I looked on my phone over here because I can monitor our queues, and we're still getting hit hard. So there's definitely, that need continues as we get even to, past the second week of the storm. If you're curious, the top city is Cleveland. Then you look at Euclid, then East Cleveland, Lakewood. Those are the top 4 communities that are calling us right now.
And are you seeing the main requests for
food? Yeah, food pantries, soup kitchens, SNAP, food vouchers. Those are the top 4.
Thanks.
I'd also want to include Julie's opportunity to share what they do to track information on visitors and if there's anything that they could provide. Julie?
Thank you so much for having us here this morning. We really appreciate your support. We too use Pantry Track, the tracking system through the food bank. It tracks all kinds of information, and additionally, we have another one that we implement in 2 of our pantries actually called Smart Choice. So that also allows us to help track the demographic information. We can track address, zip code. What I'm hearing from our pantries is not only is there an increased need, some pantries and hot meal sites are reporting 20, 30, 40% more folks coming, but the ones who have lost their power are not only suffering from food loss, but their customers are diverting then to other food pantries. So the burden is increasing on the other food pantries. One of our hot meal sites said that she, at Emmanuel Baptist on Quincy, specifically ran out of food for her hot meal. She said in all the years she's provided food, she's never run out of food to serve folks. So she actually had to turn folks away.
Is there any further discussion on the item?
Just one more.
Mr. Mackler, please.
David, do you think some of this will get reimbursed from state or federal dollars? I mean, I know you're going to try, but what's the us being able to get reimbursed, do you think?
You're right, we're going to try, and we are talking to the state of Ohio about getting additional TANF dollars that ultimately this could be matched for. That's something, if we spend it and we need to provide match, this would be our match in. I think we're going to look at FEMA to see if there are FEMA dollars that could be used as, or this could be a source for FEMA match. And then, and I know that the food bank is also tracking if there's either USDA dollars or there's other programs that we either need to match or we could leverage these funds through. I also want to point out the food bank has been extremely aggressive and has raised more than $100,000 from our corporate community. So this is not just the county putting its money in. I do think all the communities responding. I'm hoping the state will respond soon as well. And Trevor, we're gonna try to match it, or we're gonna try to leverage additional dollars. But I think part of the intent of having us walk this on, and I thank the board for hearing something as a true walk-on, is that we've sort of waited long enough to see some of those other funds come through, and we feel we have to jump forward, and we'll do what we can to bring in revenue through this.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no further comment, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Nani. All in favor to approve this item, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Thank you.
Thank you, and I want to thank our public policy fellow who quickly pulled together a lot of the research, Katura Pleasant. And I think this is a great public-private partnership, and we're looking forward to coming back and reporting the outcome of our services.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you all for coming. Okay, any other business?
No other business?
No other business? Any public comment?
No public comment?
I will make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to adjourn, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.